What's good, YouTube? It is AJ Flame right here with you guys, and what we're gonna go ahead and do, we're just gonna go ahead and go over what we have supposedly, well, not supposedly, but we have confirmed OCG in that new Battle of Chaos set. What I see on Twitter and everything else, but we're just going ahead and look really fast. And the reason I'm looking over here is just because I have my computer over here, where I have my actual cam over here. So during the video, you'll see me look over this way, just because I'm reading out what's on the screen. And now we have Battle of Chaos, which is set to be released in October 16th of this year in the OCG. Hey, let's just see. They have some cards confirmed. We're gonna go ahead and take a look over what they have. Most of it that's been revealed has been Dark Magician support, but we're gonna go ahead and see Dimension Conjurer. I haven't read these at all, so I have no idea. This is like my blind reaction to this. All right, so you can only use this card's name 1 and 2 effects once per turn. So if this card is normal special summon, you can add one magical dimension from your deck or graveyard to hand. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can draw cards equal to the number of spellcaster monsters you control, then place the same number of cards on your hand to top the deck in any order. So basically what we're doing here is searching a magical dimension, you know, that old quick play from DM era. And basically, I'm guessing you want to either send this with, well, if it's just sent from monster, so you can link it off for Linkuriboh or anything. But you want to make sure you have at least a spellcaster monster, so you could go ahead and I guess kind of Saryuja your hand, maybe fix your hand, Phantasma your hand, which I guess is nice. I don't really know because I don't play Dark Magician, but this could have other applications instead of just Dark Magician. But the thing is having to have another spot open for it. Maybe another 1 or 2 spots open for it. You definitely need at least 2 because you are also running that magical dimension. But at that point, I just think it's not worth running in any other deck as of right now. But we're going to go ahead and go next over to the other ones they have. We'll do the big fusion last because that looks pretty cool. But we'll go ahead and we'll start with the Magikuriboh when this loads up. So my computer's kind of like, meh. It's not that great. I'm trying to get a new one still, but I've had issues. But anyway, we're going to have Magikuriboh with Dark Magician stuff. I think that's adorable. I love all these Kuriboh retrains. But level 1 Dark Fiend, Kuribohs. But you can only use this card's names 1 and 2 effects once each per turn. During the main phase, if you took battle damage or damage from an opponent's card effect this turn, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon 1 Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your deck or graveyard. That first effect's actually pretty big for Dark Magician players, actually. Because you know, sometimes, I guess because you're playing Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, you sometimes don't really see them. Or they're already you've already extended them and they've already been in your graveyard and you're like, okay, I have to like force what is it? Eternal Soul to bring it out, and that could just be negated. But this one has a quick quick effect. You can send it for cost, and then special summon either Dark Magician Girl, which is actually very good for Dark Magician players if you are a Dark Magician player and this, you know, legacy support. Next effect. If a face-up spellcaster monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle card effect, or, well, an opponent's card effect, excuse me, you can add this card from graveyard to hand. Oh, interesting. So if you go ahead, take damage effect, you're like, okay, Magikuriboh, send, right? Special Dark Magician Girl, whatever. And then your opponent destroys said Dark Magician Girl, you can go ahead and add them. Because you can use each effect once per turn, which is very nice. So we're going to go ahead and go on to the next one, but I think this would definitely be a 3 of, maybe 2 in Dark Magician decks. Just depends on how you run it. I don't know. I don't run Dark Magician like I said before. I have no experience with the deck whatsoever. We're gonna scoot on over. Ooh, and we actually get Timaeus as an actual like monster card instead of like the Eye of Timaeus card. Ah, interesting. All right, you can only use this card's names once and 2 effects once per turn. So you can send one spellcaster monster, or one spell trap that specifically lists Dark Magician in its text from your hand or face up field to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. I mean, I guess. But anyway, during your main phase, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, including at least one spellcaster. So basically, it's a on-field polymerization. I don't know how much Dark Magician usually fuses. I knew they make the Dark Magicians quite frequently, but I'm not sure how applicable Tamaya's the Dragon Destiny will be in the Dark Magician deck. But I do admit 28 attack in your body, which is pretty nice. And now we got another ritual for I guess Dark Magicians. This is just all legacy. We're going through all legacy today. So, what this card does, you can ritual summon this card with Chaos Form. You can only use cards 1 and 2 as effects. Cards and names, each effect once per turn. Okay, number 1, you can reveal this card in your hand, add one Dark Magician or non-ritual monster that specifically lists that card's name in its text from your deck to your hand, then place one card from your hand to the top of your deck. So basically it searches up pretty much, I guess, almost everything that includes the name Dark Magician. Well, every monster, excuse me, that will include the name Dark Magician, because I definitely will not, add, Dark Magician. You could use the thing to search, the Karibo, actually. Yes, because it's one non-ritual, so you can actually search it with it, but then that requires running Chaos Form, and I don't know how often Dark Magician players actually run Chaos Form. And number 2, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can return this card to your hand if you do special summon Dark Magician from your graveyard. If you do, negate that. Oh, interesting. So actually, I think this might be ran at maybe 1 or 2. Maybe 1. Most likely 1. Yeah, I maybe 1. I don't know. Again, not a Dark Magician player. But that is a spell negate and the summon of Dark Magician. You know, greatest magician in terms of attack and defense, 2500. But I don't know. I think overall it's a pretty alright card. It's just that it's another ritual for Dark Magicians. And then again, I don't know how often they just run Chaos Form as well, since I'm not familiar with the deck. But since it is legacy support, I do think that they'll be high priced and high rarity as well. So last card for Battle of Chaos, Dark Master of Chaos, a level 8 Dark Spellcaster fusion monster, which actually looks like it's. Oh man! First we had Tricky, and now we have Dark Magician. First we had Dark Magician and Red Eyes fusing, and now we have the Dark Magician and Blackluster Soldier fusing. So you can only use the first 1, 2, and 3 effects of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target one light or dark monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. Okay, that's good. That's a good That's good effect. And the materials: Dark Magician, one Chaos, or Blackluster Soldier monster. Oh, interesting, Chaos. So anything with I'm assuming anything with Chaos in its name, unless it's some other stipulation, then you could just make it, which is actually really nice. Again, but I think this will only be applicable in that deck, unless they make a card like Red Eyes Fusion. Something, I don't know, I think I call it like Chaos Fusion or something like that. Unless they do that and release it in this set with other things that we do get released to make this from deck, which would be, I guess, another Red Eyes Fusion effect. Anyway, effect number 2, you contribute one light and one dark monster. Banish all monsters your opponent control. Okay then, non-target banish. Yeah. If they do have a card with like Chaos Fusion, which I guess would do the same thing. Like, well, I don't know why I said light Chaos Fusion. That's what I would call it, unless there was a card called Chaos Fusion, which I don't think there is. Then, with like a Red Eyes Fusion stipulation, then I could definitely see that card being played, and especially in Chaos decks, especially what Thunder Dragon. I guess that would be the easiest way, but that's actually a pretty good effect if you could get the fodder on the field, because you can tribute itself too. Yeah, it is a dark. and you just need one more light. Go ahead and banish your whole opponent's board and just well, not the board, just the monsters. But anyway, next. If this fusion summoned card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you could target one spell in your graveyard added to hand. So when it dies, you get the Magician of Chaos effect. To just any spell. So you're telling me that if this dies, like, and my opponent has like a ton of back row, I could just add Feather Duster if I already used it. Which is, I mean, yeah. It's interesting. Unless there's like a fusion card that sends Dark Magician. Oh no, I read that wrong. You have to have the Blackluster Soldier or Chaos Ritual monster, so you can't just okay. That's the stipulation I did not read over. Yu-Gi-Oh players reading, am I right? But otherwise, all in all, I think this is a pretty alright card. If I guess they would have to make a Chaos Fusion if they want this thing to be used in other decks, but I don't know if they want a whole Dragoon situation again with Red Ice Fusion. But if I guess if that I guess if they do, I guess I could see this card seeing play. And you could just send yeah, the Dark Magician and then maybe like a light or dark chaos ritual monster. Other than that, I think you could see play. Just depends on what it gets. Like if you have the hard polymerization, then it's not worth it. If you can send stuff from the deck to fuse with it, then it's worth it. Then it'd be like another Dragoon package. If you do run for Chaos decks, I would assume. But I think that is really it. That's all we have as of right now, due to just everything and how Konami likes to handle this stuff. But I do appreciate if you do want to see more videos like this. I promise it won't be as laggy later on when I eventually get enough money for things. But if you did watch this, I really do appreciate it. Go ahead and give this video a like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if you like this content. You want to see different stuff from me as well. Want to know my takes on things, because I do think I'm like semi-knowledgeable. Oh, I sneezed on camera. But anyway, we'll just let that slide because my computer cannot handle that software right now. But I do think that the cards are good just in Dark Magician. Legacy support, what can I tell you? But it's rough. I'll go ahead, link my Twitter in the description. I already said all that good YouTube jazz before, but this is AJ Flame signing off. You got to see me with my hair undone. I'm just going to wear a hat today. I don't really care. But we are signing off. I'll see you in the next one.